3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh, it's live, pal.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end.
Everybody 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Or maybe The Rock has got to beat Triple H himself, which means he's got to beat the game in the middle of the ring. And he has a $2 for a wife.
You're too damn selfish, and that's why you're sitting there with a bad leg, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
3 ain't enough now. I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
Oh my goodness, what do we do? There's a 1. There's a 2. Oh,
wow. Well, you can take that brass ring and shove it up your ass.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special 3 Count Thursday here on a Tuesday afternoon. It is September the 29th. We got one in before the end of October. We'll be, of course, back live with you on Thursday night as we normally are. And I'm back in Studio L. Disregard the sports stuff behind it because I have my my sports podcast that'll go live tonight, but the studio is already set up. But we wanted to bring you a review of this past Sunday's Clash of Champions on, of course, the award-winning WWE Network. So I figured I'd get Ryan, get Tim, and we're going to do this thing proper here on a Tuesday afternoon. Make sure you go to 3countthursday.com. That is our homepage where you'll find all of our social media links, our YouTube channel, our collar and elbow brand deal, our merchandise over at whatamaneuver.net.
What a maneuver.
Thank you, Tim. We also have our Patreon page, patreon.com/3 Count Thursday. We also make sure you check out our home network at ngscsports.com. And we also stream on leavesports.com. Ryan, that would be
LEEIBsports.com.
That's the one. And since it is a Tuesday afternoon, Ryan,
How you doing?
Good. Off work today. A little bit of rebound from a long weekend. Kind of tuckered out right now on some wrestling from the weekend. So I'm glad we can unload, get our thoughts out for the pay-per-view so we can move on with wrestling tonight with Dark, AEW, NXT tomorrow, and then obviously the hottest program, SmackDown Live, over there on the Fox Network Friday night.
well, it's just WWE SmackDown, even though it is live.
It is
no
live.
longer,
That's fair.
It's no longer SmackDown Live. But yes, it is. I actually didn't even watch a second of Raw last night, so I'm coming in. I know that is shocking. But Tim,
How you doing?
I am great. I'm also practicing a positive mental attitude. So I'm trying to speak being great into existence because, yeah.
I like that.
You know, it's
All
the
right,
fake it.
All right.
It's the fake it till you make it syndrome, where it's just like everything is on fire, but everything's fine.
Yeah. It's the dog in the burning house, Jeff.
Yes.
Very good. All right, let's jump into this. Obviously, based from the preview show, the preview that we did last Thursday till Sunday night, a few matches changed because of maybe COVID, maybe injuries, maybe other things. We don't know. We'll pretend. We'll just go by the unable to compete, because that's what we were told. That is the only thing we were told. Nikki Cross unable to compete for the SmackDown Women's title. The women's title tag team title match went off the books because Shayna and Nia both unable to compete. So not sure the full story there, but and with Retribution not on Raw last night, I did hear that, not on the pay-per-view. Such as life is now, you can kind of make connections sometimes, but we'll they shifted. They put the SmackDown tag titles on the pre-show. Did you guys watch that match?
I did.
Of course.
Okay.
Not.
Of course, Ryan didn't. I thought it was fine. I mean, I'm glad Cesaro and Nakamura won. I was kind of half watching that, half watching the Dallas Cowboys, so I can't really review it too much. Do you have any real thoughts to that match, Tim?
Other than Claudio is very, very good. That's about it.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw people saying on Twitter Sunday night, people were talking about the thing you've been saying, Tim, for a long time, that Claudio is the best tag team wrestler of all time. Like, it was like the first time I think I've seen other people speak that into existence.
I mean, it's the truth.
It is the stone cold truth. And then Asuka and Zelina Vega got moved on to the main card. But let's start at the top of the main card. The opening match, triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental title, 26 minutes, 35 seconds. It was the longest match on the card. Sami Zayn defeating Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles. As far as grades go, I mean, I gave the SmackDown tag match a C just because it wasn't anything special, but there was nothing bad about it. It was just kind of there, and I didn't get to watch it completely. This match, right out of the gate, I gave an A+. I freaking love this match. This match I put on my list of best matches of the year that I'm going to have to work down to a top 5 at the end of December. I just thought it was a spectacular opener. I loved the spot with Sammy putting the handcuffs through the ear hole and handcuffing Jeff to the ladder. It's sometimes it's hard to be creative, and I know we've seen things like that. But like every time I see any you're messing with ear holes, nose holes, anything like that, it just kind of like turns my stomach, but in a weird good way, like with wrestling. And then Jeff Hardy is just the guy's crazy. He's absolutely crazy to take some of those spots at his age with the injury history that he has. But kudos to all three of these guys. I love this match. And I love that Sammy won. I love that Sami Zayn is now once again the official Intercontinental champion, and he is back. So I loved everything about this. Ryan. And
Still your Intercontinental champion, according to Sami Zayn.
That is, yeah.
Jim, I wrote down the handcuff through the earlobe thing too. Like that, just saying it gives me chills. And I love that WWE wrestling can still shock me and give me that feeling. Not like a gory death match, but something that was like, oh.
Right.
So yeah, I love that. Jim, you're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely right to give this an A+. This should be on a lot of people's match of the year, at least preliminary lists. It's on mine. What a great way to set up and start the pay-per-view, knowing still that I was looking forward to the family business later on in the show, and that's really what brought me to the Gold Rush.
Like on the PW scorecards, they've been putting during the COVID era, they've been putting a category for match position, like opening match, third match, fifth match, closing match. And I put the US title first, and then I crossed it out. I was like, no, they're and I actually predicted this one correct. I had the opener and the closer correct, because because I thought it just felt like an opening match, start on a high note, and that's exactly what they did. Tim.
Seconding exactly what you guys said, this was a very good ladder match to open the show. Better than I think it should have gotten credit for, but then also you're talking about the perfectionist Sami Zayn, the perfectionist AJ Styles, and the guy who's willing to do anything, Jeff Hardy, in the match. Seeing the creativity in this type of match that's been going on for 26 years now. Use of handcuffs, handcuffing yourself to your opponent, handcuffing the ladder to the person, even in the weird ear hole thought. And then also the kind of nod to Jim Cornette. Where it's like, well, if I'm going to use handcuffs, I got to have a key, right? And so good nod to that. I'm curious to see what Corny Jim, a.k.a. Candy Dots, has to say about Sami Zayn's use of the handcuffs with a key.
Yeah, just super clever stuff, and just a fantastic way to start the pay-per-view. And like during this match, like it's coming down to crunch time on that Cowboys Seahawks game, which did not end well for Big Jim. But this match, even in those crunch time moments, this match had actually like pulled my attention away from the TV. Like that's how good it was. Like I was kind of peeking up towards the TV to watch the end of the game, as opposed to like watching the game and peeking down to maybe see the wrestling match, which is kind of that push and pull during this time of year. So again, hats off to them. Then we saw Asuka successfully defend her Raw Women's title, 7 minutes and 5 seconds against Zelina Vega, a match that was moved from the kickoff show to the main card. I put this one at a B. This match, I thought it was even in short work, I thought it was a good showing for Zelina. And I know like people were not happy that it was on the pre-show. This match had probably I think the least build out of any match on the cards. That may have played into it as well. Glad they shuffled the deck a little bit with losing 2 women's matches on the main card. And a good showing for Zelina. Asuka gets the win, so kind of keeps her reign of dominance up, and kind of keeps us guessing as to who will be the one to finally get that title off of her. But a fine match, for being the second shortest on the card. It didn't feel short, I guess is what I mean, Ryan.
Yeah, I think it felt the length that it should have been. I think everybody realizes that Zelina wasn't going to be ready for Asuka. So you don't need to have a 20-minute match here with Asuka toying with Zelina, put her away and just get it done with. But I wanted to, just to point out like how strong the Asuka lock is. I don't know if we maybe see people able to like wriggle out of the Asuka lock, but that's still usually means the end for somebody. Like it's her finisher, and that finishes matches, regardless if it's 13 minutes in or 7 minutes in. When Asuka locks in the Asuka lock, it's a strong finish.
Yeah, I think that's something WWE's been doing a little bit more of lately. We may see some kickouts of some finishers, but it's not, because one of the categories on a lot of matches on the scorecards is the number of finishers, and I've seen that number creep down, especially in the in the empty arena era. Also because the matches, I think, for the most part, have been shorter. The cards have been shorter. So
and there's no Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's true. That Tim, your thoughts? Raw Women's title match.
Didn't reinvent the wheel. Very solid matchup between the two of them. Don't think you can really expect more out of Zelina Vega in that spot. Very interesting to see where it's going to lead at after what transpired after the match, with the disrespect and Zelina turning tail and not running away, but living to fight another day. So it's interesting that they're going to give some credence to it, especially since the women's division right now seems to be, at least on Raw, more tag team centric and less single centric, which is very weird to say that WWE is putting any emphasis in any tag team division, but here we are.
Yeah, and now I think last night, Ryan, if I saw correctly, they had a rematch of this, right? On Raw?
I don't remember.
Very good. All right, and then
I watched Raw, man, but there was
in and out, right?
Monday Night Football. There was the NHL, the Stanley Cup Final. Like there was so much to watch last night.
Yeah, that's why I
have it DVR'd. I'll go back.
Yeah, I'll go back and I'll go back and look, and maybe I'll just do the YouTube highlights or the Hulu that's like an hour and hour 20. I don't think I'm going to roll through my 3 hours of DVR. I do want to check out the night goggles though, because I know that was your favorite moment of the night, right?
So fucking stupid.
But we'll talk about that on Thursday. That's just a little sample of what we'll discuss on Thursday night. 3 Count Live.
You're trying to set me up to be angry like that son of a bitch JD from New York because it was such a stupid fucking thing, and then you put the brakes on for me and you don't let me talk about it. It's horse shit.
Do you want to? You can vent here for a second if you want to vent out.
Who the fuck is wearing night vision goggles in 2020? If Ric Flair is too old and goddamn fragile to be taking bumps, then don't fucking include him anymore. It's ridiculous. Come in with goddamn night vision goggles. It's stupid. It was really stupid.
My problem with the night vision goggles isn't the fact that Randy Orton had night vision goggles. It's the fact that everyone in there can absolutely see Randy Orton walk into the room with the lights on.
And then
he turned, like, the point of having the night vision goggles is to be able to see with the lights off.
Right.
He could have easily reached in, turned the lights off, flip the goggles down, walk in and do the beat 'em up, and then leave.
And then turn the lights back on so
that way nobody knows. But it's whatever, man.
But people knew about it, and like referees and executives came running. What tipped them off? Was it because they saw it?
I guess they see. Yeah, there's monitors everywhere backstage, Ryan. You know that.
And then Randy Orton puts his hood back up, and nobody knows that janitor's Randy fucking Orton, and he just points. Are you fucking kidding me?
That 9 foot tall janitor, yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here!
I was half expecting that person to be someone from Retribution.
Yeah, it just
like Soap Scum or whatever Retribution name they'd be.
Yeah. I saw your tweet and I was like, oh boy, I need to see what this is about. And then I actually did see the clip. And,
they did set it up like it could have been anybody. It could have been Retribution because we didn't see him all night, and we were very aware that we didn't see Retribution, so it would make sense. They want to tear everybody down. They want to destroy the WWE, but only Monday Night Raw. I don't know. It's fucking dumb. It's so dumb.
And then you see
but
Randy.
It's not like they're not tweeting about destroying Raw. They're tweeting about destroying the WWE, which is bogus that they're only on one fucking show. It's stupid.
Right.
That frustrates me.
We can direct people to go to last week's episode of 3 Count Thursday and listen more about it, because I just don't have the patience to talk about Retribution anymore.
All right, let's go to the U.S. title. It was our friend and our pal
Bob
Lashley successfully defending the U.S. title over Apollo Crews. 8 minutes and 15 seconds. This one, let me look at my sheet here. I gave it a B minus. There's a couple points in the match I just thought where it seemed like they weren't really working too well with each other. It just looked a little off at times, but the match was fine. There was nothing like it was nothing horrible. It's not like it wasn't a bad match by any stretch of the imagination, but there's just a couple of points where they just kind of it didn't seem the cleanest. I'm happy that Bob won.
Bob!
Love the hurt business. And like I said, I'm definitely a Bobby Lashley 2020 fan. Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, I think this match for me fell in the category that the next match fell in for you. That I've seen this and these feuds rehashed on Raw so many times that it didn't feel like a special pay-per-view match for me. Even though that the championship was on the line, it didn't feel special. It felt average. So I mean, if I'm grading every match, this was a C+.
That's fair. Yeah, it is definitely a feud that we have seen a lot, which I'll hit on that in the next one. Tim, how about you here? US title.
Rinse, repeat. Nothing new. Nothing egregious. Fair. It's a fair for a match. It's fair for a match that needed to happen if you're defending all of the titles, considering that there's not really anyone else or there's anyone else that's available or not available, but in the United States Championship picture. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's the dead season. Everything's fine.
Bob!
Yeah, and then before we hit a break to pay some bills, we have bills to pay now. Let's hit the Raw tag team titles. The Street Profits successfully defend against Andrade and Angel Garza, 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Again, for me, it was just, this match, I feel like I have just seen time and time and time again. I gave this one a C. Obviously, the ending came off really bad on Sunday. We have since found out it was it was a call from the back in the earpiece. Let's get out of this thing. Garza obviously hurt. There was speculation of what it could be. Sunday they thought maybe a quad injury, which would have been really, really bad. Now it seems like it's some sort of a hip injury, which he shouldn't be out long term for. So hopefully the sooner the better. I love Angel Garza. Obviously the ending was a little wonky. I gave this match a C. I just I think. And I'll echo it again. Like I've said, I think that the tag team titles would be really well served to be unified. I think your secondary titles would probably benefit from that as well. I just think there's not enough bodies to go around right now. And obviously, when you see the cards having to change, not only on WWE, on AEW as well, and there was news today, the NFL has positive COVID cases, and there's positive COVID cases in college football. Like, when anything can change at a moment's notice, having so many titles with a already limited roster is probably a bad idea. So maybe with the draft, we can start unifying some secondary titles. But yeah, just I'm ready for a new tag team title feud.
I mean, I guess I'm of the camp that we're not going to see unified championships.
Oh, I know we're not, but I just want.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's just a USA Fox thing. Like Fox wants their own, USA is going to want their own. So I don't think we're going to see that, and I don't know if we necessarily need it. I enjoyed the match up until the injury, and that's where I struggle with this. In pro wrestling, I guess in general, but definitely in this match, we're talking professionals that have mic'd up, and if they were told to go home, that's fine, but you don't go home on a 2 count. If the guy kicks out on 2, hit him with another maneuver, and then pin him for 3. I don't want to see 3 counts when a guy legit kicks out. It doesn't need to happen. Just run a spot again, then pin it. Garza's out of the ring. He's safe for the moment. It's not like he is going to die from a hip or a knee injury. He may be in pain, but you can even start tending to him. Andrade's got to run another move, hit a finisher, whatever you have to do to send it home properly, but don't end it on an actual kick out.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a head or neck injury, that's a different story. This obviously
Right,
wasn't.
I don't want his head banging around on the apron or anything like that. But if he's in a safe spot, don't 3 count a kick out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because then your commentary has to do that juggling game of, well, I think the referee was out of position, and he missed the shoulder come up, which, I mean, anybody with a set of eyes anywhere near that ring saw the kick out. It wasn't like a half-assed 35-minute barely gets the shoulder.
Helen Keller saw the kick out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a kick out. It wasn't a barely lift the shoulder out. It was definitely a kick out. Tim, your thoughts here?
Ref's call is the ref's call. It happens all the time in real sports where a ref misses a call. You can look egregiously at the New Orleans Saints have probably the biggest case of all cases of an egregious pass interference call that happens directly in front of an official, and they just hands in the pockets for a season now? Like, they haven't even nope. So I'm cool with a referee missing a kick out every now and again. It makes wrestling feel real. Like, it's not always ballet. Because the one thing I would want less than a pin on 2 is the ref counts 3 and then goes, oh, no, it was actually 2, even though I hit 3. And then they do it again only to then give me a 3 count. Make the 3 stick, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. Oh, well. Ronda Rousey had her shoulder up the entire time for the finish of the WrestleMania triple threat match, and we never saw anything more of that. So, it's fine. It sucks, but it's fine. I'm surprised no one here is lamenting over the injury to famous Dick wrestler Angel Garza. I don't know. I mean, I hate that he's hurt, but he will not be missed by me. Maybe this is going to be an opportunity for Andrade to break away and go back to being a singles guy, where he's great.
Yeah, this could certainly benefit Andrade. And I mean, if Dave Meltzer is to be believed, and we'll leave it at that, the result of the match was going to be the Street Profits retain anyhow. So it didn't. The injury didn't change the result. So the way I'm looking at it, this tag team should be done anyway, injury or not. Like I said, I hope that the injury is not a long-term one for Garza, because I'm a huge Angel Garza fan. I think he has star written all over him, but I also think Andrade is great. So sometimes there's addition by subtraction for some, and Andrade may benefit because it looks like from what I heard from Raw, it looks like there's kind of a clean split even from him and Zelina. So Andrade's going off on his own, and I hope there's success there. I mean, I think be it Raw or SmackDown, I think he has secondary title implications all over him. I think he could be a great U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion. So yeah, sign me up for that.
Yeah, if you go back and watch Raw, catch his promo with Zelina, or against Zelina, I guess. It's a pretty obvious split between those two.
All right, well, we're gonna pause for a quick break here and pay some bills. On the other side, there's 3 more matches we have to review, and stick with us.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis on all things sports. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, subscribe to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports, and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop. And we're back. Tim, hit me with an "and we're back" like you do on the Final Wrestling Plays.
And we're back.
Thank you. I appreciate. Is that from the like the Jimmy Fallon, the SNL bit?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
The Harry Carey, I think.
Yeah, that's
and we're back.
Spectacular. That is good stuff. So yeah, make sure you visit our sponsor Arena Eats, and you can find their link on the NGSC Sports homepage at ngscsports.com. So, of course, like I had said, the SmackDown Women's title match had to get changed. Nikki Cross unable to compete on Sunday. So Bayley came out and cut a quick little promo and had about a 10-second open challenge that nobody responded to. And then Asuka's music hit, came out. It was a quick match, 3 minutes, 45 seconds, because, Asuka gets the win by DQ because of the interference by Sasha Banks, still selling the neck. I'm glad that she is still selling the neck. I gave this this match and moment a C plus. It definitely, and I get it. It was kind of a last minute circumstance sort of a thing. So I don't fault them for the situation, but it just seemed very rushed, a little disorganized. And quite frankly, I would have liked to have seen somebody other than Asuka answer the call. I mean, I get in a reality world, there probably wasn't anybody else in the building. But so I get that there's nobody else probably there to answer the call. But it just, I think it could have set up potentially, a somebody else kind of in that discussion, because I get we're probably headed towards Sasha and Bayley in Hell in a Cell a month from now. So, but to have somebody in that conversation post Hell in a Cell would probably be a good little carrot to drop. But otherwise, I'm glad they at least threw something together. Ryan.
Yeah, I'm gonna score this an A. I don't think a grade should really apply to this match. And Jim, I saw a lot of people talking Sunday night saying that, God, anybody but Asuka. Like, why would it be Asuka? And like you had said, I think that's a great idea after Sasha Bayley, that little drop back in. But wrestling fans don't think that far ahead. And let's say it was, I don't know, Mandy Rose. Or no, I guess it would have been somebody from SmackDown. Yeah. I don't know, anybody else from SmackDown. Or anybody. Hell, it could have been Mandy Rose. Sure. Trying to get back on the SmackDown brand. Like, you could spin it anyway.
I think Dana Brooke got moved to SmackDown, so make it be Dana Brooke. I don't care.
All right, well, Dana Brooke is now on Raw last night. So who the hell knows? But let's say Dana Brooke. If Dana Brooke went out there and wrestled a 3-minute match that got a DQ finish with Bayley, people would be bitching that it never should have happened, and Dana Brooke doesn't get respect. And why even have the match if it's going to be Bayley and Sasha Banks anyway? We all know what's going to come. Yada yada. Like, fans can't appreciate the moment it is. So right. Putting Asuka there does no harm to Asuka. She's still the champion. She won by DQ. She doesn't need to have the blue strap. Whatever. It is what it is. They needed to have a segment with the SmackDown champion, and this is what we got.
Sure. Tim.
Very non-egregious way to just continue to keep this thing in perpetual motion. It had to happen. Asuka's the best choice, I think, for being the vehicle to keep it moving. especially since she's already had a match. It needs to be somebody who's kind of believable that could beat Bayley to take the open challenge. I always think of, when I think of open challenges, I think of Honky Tonk Man Ultimate Warrior, where it's like, if Honky Tonk Man does the open challenge and out comes Michael Sam Houston, I don't care. Like, it doesn't mean anything, but it's Asuka. It's a gold rush. She, especially when we live in the world of Becky 2 belts or Banks 2 belts and Bayley, or was it
Bayley Dose Straps?
Bayley Dose Strap?
And
Yeah. And like Becky 2 belts and Sasha Dose Strap or whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like Asuka wants that too. She was a part of it goes back to what, SummerSlam, where she fought both of them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
For both titles, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad like Twitter mad was. I wasn't.
Nobody's ever mad like Twitter mad.
Yeah, because again, I also get the fact that when you're operating from like a closed set, you're not bringing extra people in just to be there. So, what probably happened is, because I assume they're doing rapid testing, so I assume that everybody arrives at the building that day. Nikki tests positive, or somebody tests positive, and Nikki was close to that person and has to go home. You're not scrambling and bringing Dana Brooke or whomever, Mandy Rose, whoever, to the building at a last minute and have to scramble that way. So it's even now more than ever. I think you're dealing with circumstance in the best way possible. All right, let's go to the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre successfully defeating Randy Orton in an ambulance match, 21 minutes 35 seconds. This one I gave an A-. There was a couple of points where I thought, maybe this is going a hair long. Also, when we had, and I'm happy that the rest of the Randy Orton victims sans Edge made appearances, because when we just got the Big Show, I was like, I was like, this is bad place for me. But then it made sense, and it's it's a continuity, it's storytelling, it ties back the entire rivalry between these guys. So I was fine with the Big Show being a part of that, because it did tie it all together. But as far as ambulance matches go, which feels like such a weird thing to say, but I thought this was one of the, if not the best ambulance matches, at least that I can remember. I know when that was the stipulation that was announced, I kind of went, I don't get excited for ambulance matches, but this one turned out to be pretty good. Also, claymoring the door off of the ambulance was pretty fun. Happy to see Drew retain. Like I said, I would have been fine. I even predicted Randy winning, but Drew keeping the belt is definitely fine for me. I think it shows a good commitment to him as champion from the WWE as well, which I like. Ryan.
Yeah, I agree. I like Drew winning here. I like the poetic justice of the punt kick to Randy Orton from Drew McIntyre. The callbacks were fine. Like you said, when I saw the Big Show, I just about lost it. But like a true wrestling fan, I don't see to the end of something like I just complained about in the last match. But yeah, I was fine with that. My only issue with this match is there was a moment where Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre were both in the ambulance. Where was Tucky? Where was Otis? Why wasn't Tucky telling Otis to go out, slam both those doors, be the goddamn champion, and let's get out of this feud? Where was he?
Oh yes.
I put this one on Tucky, not on Otis. Otis was probably busy eating. This one's on Tucky. Tucky should have been like, "Hey, bud, you got to go." Didn't do it.
Yeah. No, that's a solid point, Ryan. Now, but
They
my
were
question
both in there. I mean, it was less than a minute. It might have been 30 seconds, but you just have to like give the briefcase, right? Slam the doors, and you're done.
You know how
Are
that
you?
works. Every
Are
time
you ready? Are you ready?
you go to cash in the briefcase, and the referee's like, "Do you want to do this?" And you take the goddamn case. No, but do you want to cash it in? Yeah, I'm giving you the case, but are you sure you want? And then they would have been out of the ambulance. So it may not
That's
have
a fair
worked
point.
out.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, when your message when the Big Show showed up was basically,
What the hell is even that?
Tim, your thoughts on the ambulance match?
I'm salty about it because I wasn't completely right. But it was a nice way to kind of tie up Randy's summer and move forward. However, what they did on Monday Night Raw kind of poo-pooed that. I would have thought with an ending that took place at Clash of Champions that Randy would be written off. I mean, he got beat up by the Big Show, beat up by Christian, super kicked by Shawn Michaels, pushed off of an ambulance through some tables, claymored and punted.
Right.
And was drove away by Ric Flair in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Like, he could have stayed away until January.
He could have stayed away till Hell in a Cell.
He's a janitor now. I'm not sure how much further you want him to fall.
Completely off the television. Like, I love Randy Orton. I'm here for Randy Orton. I'm here for everything Randy Orton, even night vision goggles that he probably took from his oldest son. And I'm not here for having this, because it's also very heelish. Like, the deck was stacked against Randy and Drew won.
Yeah.
So now Randy has a gripe against Drew. It's like, oh, you can't beat me without Big Show and Christian and Shawn Michaels. Contrary to typical logic. But
yeah, well, and I mean, they did kind of present Drew. It was almost kind of like a tweener way, because when they inserted Keith Lee into that picture, I felt like Lee was the babyface, Randy Orton was the heel, and Drew was just kind of in the middle. Like, he'd be baby.
Nobody asked for Drew McIntyre to be in the middle.
I mean, I didn't ask for it, but it just it happened, and so but I kind of agree with you. It's weird in a way that Drew, the baby face was getting all the help, and the heel's the one that ends it, because like that was one of the gripes I've had. To talk about that Wednesday night program on TNT, like, how many times do we see babyface Cody getting help from Arn Anderson? Like, and like it just, those sort of things, like, again, we're talking logic and reasoning in professional wrestling, and a lot of times those things don't always mesh up together. But it doesn't. Those sort of things don't completely add up. But it is what it is, and I agree with you. Like, Randy, and I've been, I've not always been banging the drum for Randy Orton, but I've been saying how much this year, this run has just been absolutely spectacular. But yeah, I would have been totally fine if he was off till after Hell in a Cell, till after Survivor Series, till the Royal Rumble, whatever. Because to kind of sell the numerous whoopings that he took on Sunday, but it is
now if you're Randy Orton though, and you're watching Raw kick off with the four men that interfered in your match and caused you to potentially lose, wouldn't you want to get retribution yourself, pardon the word, as soon as possible when they're all sitting down playing cards in the back room. Like, why wouldn't you strike then?
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point. I'll give you that. Um, yeah. So I guess
Because baby, when the lights go out.
yeah, it's a kind of a hard balance between selling injuries, trying to get retribution. But yeah, well, and I would hope that we're just not gonna recycle back and do Drew, Randy, and in Hell in a Cell. I hope we have something different there, even if there's a third man added to that piece. But we'll see. We'll see how it develops. I think Hell in a Cell is the end of October, so we have like a month to get to that point. And then finally, and I think because majority rules when it comes to 3 Count Thursday, so I think we can say our piece on this one and not even let Matt bring his negativity on Thursday when it comes to this matchup. The Universal title, Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, retaining the Universal Championship 22 minutes and 55 seconds over Jey Uso by technical submission, of course, when Jimmy threw the towel in. My God, this much like the opening match got an A+ from me. I loved everything about this. Now, I had predicted this on my scorecard to be finger poke of doom. But I really thought it was going to be one of two ways. I thought it was going to be finger poke of doom and Jey Uso and then potentially Jimmy Uso just forms the Samoan dynasty on SmackDown, or you get a fight, a not even necessarily a wrestling match, but a fight between cousins like that, and that's what we got. I loved it. I know our friends over at Take 3 Wrestling Podcast, one of the guys was not a fan of the talking and the jawing back and forth between the two throughout the match. I loved every single bit of this match. Like, if WWE, right, wrong, or indifferent, gets killed for not telling stories enough, for not, for either they give us a match with a bad story or they give us a good story with a bad match. This just, they couldn't have done this any better, I don't think. And I don't know who the tweet was from, but there was a tweet about like Charles Robinson's role in this match. I thought as a referee, he was spectacular as well. This match was just so good. It was so good. Ryan.
Jim, I think that tweet I retweeted last night when I took over the Twitter for Raw, and it was from your good friend Matt Kuhn, who I know you always see eye to eye with.
Glad I didn't see the name. No,
but he wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
This match was an absolute A+. Also made my list for match of the year, not because it was a great wrestling match, probably because it was a much better moment than it was wrestling match. But I feel like in the WWE, that's what we talk about a lot, are great moments. And it's funny that you brought up the guy who said he didn't like all the jawing back and forth. You can really tell who grew up without siblings or who grew up not close to their cousins. Because I'm 36 years old. I still jaw with my brother anytime we're doing anything together. Cheap shots constantly back and forth. Jim, I think you and I do it a lot. And we're not actually blood brothers, but you do that. That's what you do. I am the older, larger brother, so I was able to always physically dominate my younger, smaller brother. Not fair, but I would jaw the entire time.
Oh, absolutely.
I like to think of myself as the tribal leader, if you will, of my family. I wear a lei of flowers.
Tribal chief.
Whatever. The tribal chief
is one of those candy necklaces that you can bite the pieces off, right?
It is a candy necklace. It's just a string. You can't see it because I ate all of them today. But yeah, dude, this was such a great match, a great moment, great storytelling. The brother dynamic, kind of a Brett and Owen sort of feel to it. Like, I'm gonna throw I love the whole towel thing. We don't see it a lot. I loved it. I think the last time the WWE did it, which was NXT UK maybe, or an early NXT show with some of the UK guys. I just absolutely.
I remember exactly what it was. It
With
was
Mustache
stupid
Mountain.
Mustache Mountain and the Undisputed Era, and stupid Tyler Bate is just standing on the corner. Just go in and break up the pin, idiot. Instead, you're standing there. And now you got me all hot again.
I mean, I feel like he broke up the pin once already. Doing so again would have been a disqualification.
Well, they didn't say
That's why
anything
he
about that on
wasn't.
commentary. So how am I supposed to know that as a fan?
That's true. Commentary
No,
didn't
you
do
should
the
have.
job on that one.
You should have watched Being the Elite. They would have talked about it then.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
But yeah, dude, I loved everything about this match. Kudos to everybody involved. I was emotionally hooked from the moment Jey Uso came out, from the moment Roman came. It's just such a dominating match. He freed the nips. The women loved it. I loved it. Everybody loved it. We're all gay for Roman. So good.
Tim, I know you've been and everybody should have already listened to Final Wrestling Place for the week, and I think on the on your pre-cap you mentioned that it would be free the nipple time. Your thoughts on the Universal Championship match?
It is free the titty season. It is out. Everything is great. This match is far and away the best thing from Clash of Champions. Roman Reigns wasn't lying when he was saying they're cooking filet mignon over here. Like this is not quick fast meals, man. They're telling stories. The interaction, I'm glad you mentioned it, with Charles Robinson and Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, where Roman was being told like, hey, tell him not to get in my way, because he doesn't want me to have to tell him. Like, you need to get him to have him be out of my way. Thank you, baby. You gotta tell him. You gotta tell him to get out of the way. Now the ending portion, I can see that the ending portion maybe took a little too long in getting to that, but I'm sorry that my palate isn't as dignified as our friend Matt, who is a acting connoisseur inside the actor's studio, and he's gonna talk about how bad the Usos acting is. I'm sorry, not everybody had the ability to be on the set of Hobbs and Shaw with Roman Reigns to, get the master class of acting from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I thought it was great, man. I'm really looking forward to see where else it goes. And once they put the lay on him, it just gives me goose pimples, because the only other Samoans or people I remember that had lays was, the mighty Yokozuna and the High Chief, Peter Maivia.
Yeah.
You can only get you might start as a lowly tribal chief, but eventually, once you've toppled all the tribal chiefs and you're there, you're now the head seat of all the tables.
Yeah.
And you start calling yourself the High Chief, and maybe an aforementioned box office draw is actually more around the corner than we thought.
Batista.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the thing is as as great as the story to get to the match that was told, as great as the story within the match that was told, there's still so much meat left on this bone. Obviously, from those implications with the Samoan family. And just within the Usos, the twins themselves. And I know Matt, I know he's still just upset that the tag team no longer plays hard in the paint. I know he's still very heartbroken over that. So I will forgive Matt a little bit on that one.
Do you know Matt actually had a leaked Raw script Sunday night, and he saw that there was going to be no Raw Underground. So he was probably upset that Shane McMahon wouldn't have been on Raw and took his anger out
that
unfairly on this match.
This is
I assume come Thursday he will come with apologies.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I know he loves Shane and the fact that he wasn't going to get to see him on Monday night. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So I won't be too hard on him. It's going to be a tough weekend and week for him. But like I think I even tweeted it Sunday night. Like, as good as a tag team that the Usos have been, like Jay made a huge case for himself as a single star in the lead up to and during this match. Like, I could see him in a Intercontinental title role or in a United States Championship role. Like, I don't know where that leaves Jimmy Uso. And I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen, but man, like, dude made himself a case. Like, they tried something different and they 100% hit a home run on this match and this story. And I think I think there's going to be plenty of story left to be told. Like, I can't like, I missed Raw, how much of it I actually go back and absorb, I don't know. But like, I cannot wait till SmackDown on Friday to kind of see the aftermath of this. Any other thoughts on this match, guys, before we kind of wrap up the show here?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we praise the WWE enough for what they've done with this match, because it's so easy to shit on them. And I feel like once you shit on somebody, it's hard to go back and recognize true brilliance in what they did with legitimate family members who are legitimately related. I love the backstory. I loved everything about it. I loved the inclusion of Sika in the promo. Everything about this was so Days of Our Lives-ish, but it worked so well when you're like, I just want storylines. And they give you such a great storyline, backed with a phenomenal performance in the ring from everybody involved. It was just perfection. Kudos to the WWE for hitting an absolute grand slam with this match. And if it's over, if it's I won and that's cool, that's awesome. It was such a great moment to do it. That like true family ties. So good. God, I loved it. So good.
Tim, any other thoughts on this match in particular?
If you didn't watch Chronicle for Jey Uso, go back and watch it, because it really does put into perspective everything with leading up to the match.
Okay.
It's a quick 30 minute watch. But it gives the and family pieces that were tied into with the promo. So it's really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. All right, just wrapping up the show itself, based on my grading system. This show got a B in terms of match grades. I think that's a fair grade just from just thinking over the show aspect. Obviously, a spectacular opener, a spectacular close. To me, if you get a great opener and a great close, the rest of the stuff in between doesn't have to be perfect, and this show wasn't. But I think I would agree with my grading of the matches and holding it out to a B. How about you, Ryan? Oh, you were muted there for a second. There you go.
I did. I muted myself. I got so excited. I had a little cough. I wanted to mute myself. So sorry.
Oh, no problem.
you have a great car crash of a match in that opening ladder match, and a phenomenal ladder or a phenomenal ambulance match, and then an even better main event match, which again pulls some like real family drama. This was an A- show. I can't believe I outgraded Big Jim on a show. This is an A- for me. I thought Clash of Champions was one of the best pay-per-views the WWE has put out in 2020.
Wow. Tim, I'll just give it to you. I can't even respond to that.
If this was in Japan, it'd be 7 stars. This card had absolutely nothing good about, like, it shouldn't have been this good. It overperformed, it over-delivered. An actual memorable WWE pay-per-view main event, a solid semi-main event, and a really great open with a solid supporting cast underneath of it. I'm hard pressed to pick a better card for the year pay-per-view wise in the COVID era.
Yeah, I think somebody had said that it was the best pay-per-view of 2020, and I reminded them that the Royal Rumble was really, really good. And I know that
was good.
And I know that feels like it was about 14 years ago at this point. But yeah, as far as COVID pay-per-views go, I would tend to agree that this is the best one. I would tend to agree with that. We had one thought from social media. Nick said the ladder match was awesome. Reigns Uso match was match of the night, pure perfection. Drew Orton was good, like the addition of the callbacks. He said it kind of cheapened Drew a bit. I don't know. I've seen that argument from some people. I don't think it necessarily cheapened him. I guess I can see where some people say that. He said the rest of the card is pretty much Monday Night Raw, which was filler and blah like Mondays. Pretty safe to say SmackDown is the better show in storylines right now. I mean, I'll agree that SmackDown is the better of the two programs.
For sure.
But yeah, so yeah, unless anybody else has anything to add, we'll kind of wrap this thing up and meet again on Thursday night. Ryan, how about you? Got anything?
I don't have anything. I don't think I'm going to be here Thursday night, so y'all have to keep Matt in control.
We'll do our best.
Get that apology.
We will. Well, I think we can beat it out of him. I think we can beat the apology. And get him to admit that he was wrong about this match. Tim, any closing thoughts here?
No, sir, nothing for me. Everything's great.
Perfect. Then we're going to wrap this thing up, and we will talk to everybody on Thursday nights. Of course, we'll be back live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/3count Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, as we have been. We won't see Ryan, so we'll talk to Ryan next week when we are back live with him. But until that time, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin. Three Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?